we go. Dear Matsons, I recently got a divorce. What is the best way to navigate this life change with my kids? Sincerely, trying my best. Well, the first thing we'd like to say is that just to validate how hard divorce is. And I come from a family where divorce occurred when I was in high school. And so depending on the age of your kids, they're going to be impacted in different ways, but it's all going to be hard. And that is hard. And you've seen that already. So, in my story, one of the things, there's a couple things that you can say. One thing that you want to watch and kind of guard against, and I would say the biggest thing for me is that my parents didn't do a very good job at guarding against getting their needs met from us kids. They just bled over into them talking to us about each other, and about the problems. And it made it an unhealthy space. And I just wanted to get out and get away from all of that. So having a resource for you as a parent is outside of your kids is so important.
Yeah, so recognizing when you are wanting to defend your side of the story or wanting to make sure your kids set the record straight, trying to do that with a counselor and with your own support team. So make sure you have your own friends, and knowing that you have been processing this a lot longer than your kids have, appropriately, right? And so they're grieving at a very different place than you. You might have been thinking about this for years, and they are just now catching up to the reality of how this is going to change their entire life. So you're thinking about a few things. You're thinking about making room for them to grieve, to be able to feel. So kids are going to be sad. They're going to get angry. They're going to try to perform and be the super kid for you. There's all these different ways that they're grieving. So create some support systems for them where they have a place to process, and to process in healthy ways. So this is a time for counseling. If you can also get some mentors, or maybe another family friend who has been a child of divorce and can understand and be a resource for them. The second thing I'm thinking about is consistency. There's so much that happens in divorce where things get blown up and everything goes out the door in terms of what was consistent. Kids have to move, they have to change schools, houses go back and forth. Everything feels unstable. It's hard for you, and it's also very hard for them. So think about ways that you can create as much consistency as possible, whether that's they have routines with the same family members or the same friends. If you can keep them in the same schools, if you can keep them in the same church, make sure that they have some sort of familiarity and invite them into that. What do they want to keep the same? Well, they might not be able to have a choice in all of it, but if there's one or two things that they can keep the same, try to do that. Make an extra effort on that. And then for the littler ones particularly, give them some sort of a consistent suitcase or a treasure box that is something they can take back and forth to both parents' homes. Yeah. So it has their favorite stuffy, their favorite snacks, their particular outfits that they really want to be able to have at both homes, pictures, toys. It feels hard to leave their favorite things at one house. And so being able to have that with them in both places, they can set up shop in their bedroom, whichever home they're at, and it'll feel somewhat comforting. It doesn't solve it all, but it's some of those small things that can be helpful for your child as they're moving through this very big change.
Yeah, and I'll just say for me, and I think I would have said this if the divorce happened when I was younger even, but I was a junior in high school. Having a counselor was a game changer for me, a lifesaver for me. And I knew that at that point that person was supposed to be objective, was there for me. And I will say that that my mom, she set that up, and she was hands off about it, which was nice. And I didn't know that I even needed it until I started utilizing my counselor, Matt. So Matt, if you're out there, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. So I just want to say that you're going to make it. And though it feels like there's so much hard in the middle of this, even in the middle of divorce, God will use this in your child's life. And Jeff's a great example of that. I mean, the man that he is and the way that God has used this pain in his story to shape the kind of father and husband he is today. Gosh, I'm going to cry.
Thank you.
Goodness. It's a reminder that God uses it all. And so keep that hope for your child and continue to do your work to stay the healthy parent. No matter if you can't control the other parent, you can still do your work. So we're here cheering you on, and we really do believe you're the right parent for the job.